Hey everybody, hopefully all of you are doing well and you are being safe and taking care of yourselves and your family. Today I'm going to come and show you how to take these very ugly bananas that look like they need to go in the trash and turn them into a beautiful banana bread topped with pecans. Let's get into it. Let's start this recipe off with taking the little ugly bananas. And we need 2 3/4 cup of smashed banana. So it's roughly 4, maybe 5 bananas. It could be more depending on, how big they are. So just peel them, put them in a bowl, and give them a good mashing. After I got them all mashed up, I just wanted to show you guys how I measure the bananas. I just pour them into a 1 cup measure. And like I said, I used 2 3/4 cup. I actually had to go back and get some more. I had like 2 bananas left. I went and used them to throw into the recipe. And just to remind everybody, this is a revision off of a recipe that I have already had for some time now. That's what I've been doing lately, is taking some of my recipes back to task and just giving them a nice revision. So here's the sugar. I have 1 cup of granulated sugar, a cup of coconut sugar, and 4 eggs. I was experimenting with coconut sugar in other recipes. I like to buy different ingredients and work with them and see what they can do. Now, using this coconut sugar, my end product is going to be darker. You should always be aware that when you use darker sugars, your product is going to end up darker in color. That's 1 cup of butter that I have in my mixer right there. Anyway, using darker sugar can give you a darker product at the end, but since it's banana bread, it's not gonna hurt. Okay, so you can use 2 cups of granulated sugar, it's not a problem, but I just chose to use coconut sugar to experiment. I can tell you right now, using that coconut sugar made the bread less sweet, where it was okay putting the icing on if I wanted to at the end. Another tip for the bananas: if you want your bananas to hurry up and ripen, put them in a brown paper bag to rush the oxidation process. That way they will be more ripe for your recipes. I stopped the mixer just to make sure that the butters and the sugars were well incorporated before I add the eggs. You're going to see me stop the mixing bowl quite a bit to make sure things are stirred well or incorporated well from the bottom of the bowl. You don't want any big patches of dry mix and flour at the bottom once you're going through this process. Now I'm just going to add the eggs one at a time to make sure they're well incorporated before adding the next. For the printable recipes, be sure and go to gdseasoning.com. The links will be below in the description box and in the comment section. After I get all my eggs incorporated, I'm just going to stop the mixer again and make sure that the bottom of the bowl is well mixed. And then I'm just going to sift the dry ingredients right over the bowl. The dry ingredients consist of 3 cups of all-purpose flour. And then I got beside myself and lost one of my clips. So let me tell you what's in the sifter. On top of the 3 cups of all-purpose flour, we have 2 teaspoons of baking soda, 2 teaspoons of salt, and 1 tablespoon of cinnamon. There you go. All right. So that's all that. And now you're going to see me add some fresh grated nutmeg, about a half a teaspoon. If you don't like nutmeg or it's not your thing, you don't have to add it, but it does add a nice flavor to accompany that cinnamon. So I'm just going to fold the dry ingredients into the wet ingredients, just because I don't want my mixer to blow flour everywhere. So I'm just going to gently fold. And then the final wet ingredients is the bananas and a couple other ingredients. So we're going to make our way back to our smashed bananas, 2/3 cup of Greek yogurt or sour cream, and 1 tablespoon of vanilla. And I know you're probably asking, why didn't I add the bananas earlier? I like to add the bananas and these 3 ingredients last, because the bananas will still kind of keep a chunk. If I put them in too early, they kind of pulverize, and this way I'm adding them last with the sour cream, and you're just gonna mix this into the flour mixture just until it's mixed. I mean, we don't want to overmix this, and you don't have to let it go for very long. So I added everything together. I'm gonna pulse it just until it starts to come together, and then I'm gonna stop and add a cup of pecans, or you can use a cup of walnuts. If you look at the mixture really close, it's not incorporated well yet. I did that on purpose so I can add the pecans and then give it a couple of more pulses. I'm playing with the switch on my mixer just to mix it until everything comes together, and also double check the bottom again to make sure everything's incorporated, and then stop. That's enough. I want to give a shout out to one of my social media nieces, Nisha Rose 1 on Instagram. You guys can come over there and join us at Cook with Carolyn if you'd like. She tagged me literally a picture of the banana bread she made while I was filming this video. It was so funny to me. So I reposted it and let her know I'm making that bread right now. So what I did here was I took my 9 by 11 by 2 baking pan and I smeared a little bit of shortening around the entire pan. That's to help with releasing. Also, I lined it with a piece of parchment paper. That's also going to help me with release, and it's going to help leave our pan relatively clean. It's not going to be so hard to wash. And after that, just pour in the batter. If you look really close, you can see the chunks of banana, which is really nice when you bite into the bread. So just pour your batter into the pan and spread it out evenly. Also, let me say this before I forget. I know someone's going to ask. Yes, the original recipe that I have revised from this one is a loaf recipe. So if you don't want a big pan like this, you can make the original recipe and it's a loaf. Okay, so you'll be making a banana bread loaf, or you can make this bigger one for a larger family. Okay, so don't worry, I will provide both recipes for you, so you don't have to ask me in the comments. Right over the top, we're going to add another cup of chopped pecans, or if you choose to, you can use the walnuts. We're going to bake this in a preheated oven at 350 degrees for about 45 to 48 minutes, or until a toothpick is inserted and it comes out clean. Once the banana bread comes out, I want you to be sure and check the center of the banana bread by using a toothpick, and make sure that your toothpick is coming out clean and dry. If your toothpick is sticky or if it has dough still on the toothpick, you need to put it back in there and let it finish. So mine was clean, so I only let it stay in the pan maybe 5 minutes. What I don't want the bread to do is to continue cooking in that pan. So you're gonna take the parchment paper, move it over to a rack, and let it cool completely before you start to ice it. So what I'm doing here is making a simple sheer icing of milk and some powdered sugar. However, if you want to step your game up, if you want to impress your family, go ahead and use my brown butter icing that we used on the 7-Up cream cheese pound cake on top of this banana bread. Here's a short clip from that video. Check it out. Butter for the topping. The cake is completely cool now, so we can go ahead and brown this butter. This is a process that you need to stick with. You can't leave the stove. You got to watch this happen, and it's going to happen fairly quickly. I'm just going to swirl the butter around the pan. This is 5 tablespoons of butter, and the smell is going to start to smell nutty, almost like a caramel shop or a candy store. You can see how quickly this happens. You're just going to keep turning the butter around the pan until it gets about the color of caramel. And what you want to do is have a bowl nearby so you can immediately pour it out, because turning off the heat will not stop it from cooking. It's going to continue cooking even if you turn off the heat. So take it out of that pot and put it in a bowl. You need to have your bowl ready for it to go in. And I'm going to put 2 tablespoons of lemon juice. And you really need 4 tablespoons of lemon juice, but I didn't have any more lemon juice than that. So I used 2 tablespoons of 7-Up to back up that lemon juice. And you need 1 cup of powdered sugar. All of that is enough to coat the entire cake. And just to let you guys know, this icing can go on my other lemon cream cheese pound cake. It can go on my regular 7-Up cake. I will leave the links to those videos below also. What you can do now is just pour the... Now, of course, with the banana bread recipe, if we're going to use that icing, we're just going to need 3 ingredients. We're going to need the brown butter, the powdered sugar, and the milk. And you won't need as much. So check out the recipe so you can know how much of the ingredients to use. And the purpose of this icing is for it to be nice and sheer, but have lots of flavor. And that'll make it even more decadent. You can bypass putting icing on this bread altogether if you'd like and just eat it plain. What I would suggest you do is let the bread cool completely, cut a piece, taste it, and then decide if you want to ice it. That will help a lot of you make a very easy decision on if you want to take it to that level. So now I'm just going to cut the bread in half, and then I'm trying to decide, should I cut the halves and quarters or should I do 3 columns? I went with 3 columns from top to bottom and 3 columns from left to right. So that will give us 9 servings on that one side of the bread. With that said, y'all know how to cut bread, I'm sure. You'll figure it out, how to make the columns neat and how to make the bread go as far as you want or to give people the biggest pieces that they want. Well, guys, we are all done. We have a beautifully dense and moist bread that you can enjoy with coffee, tea, or milk. You can have this during your break time since you're homeschooling and you need a little break to yourself from the kids. I hope you guys enjoy this recipe. Thank you guys so much for spending time with me. You know I appreciate it when you come cook with me and hang out. Don't forget, this recipe and others can be found at gdseasoning.com. And I will see you in the next one. Take care, everybody.